What if I told you that the very same white powder you use to clean your sink or freshen your fridge could help restore blood flow to your penis? I'm serious. For thousands of men over 60, including many of my own patients, something as simple as baking soda has made a drastic difference in their circulation, their erections, and even their confidence in intimacy. For over 30 years, I've treated older men with issues most are too embarrassed to discuss: poor blood flow, soft erections, low energy, and emotional fatigue. I'm a professor of urology and a men's health specialist, and I believe the best medicine doesn't always come in a bottle. Sometimes, it's already in your kitchen. Here's what most men never hear. Baking soda isn't just for cleaning or heartburn. Used correctly, it can support nitric oxide production, improve blood oxygen, balance body pH, and even help testosterone work better. All of this is essential for strong, lasting erections after 60. In this video, I'll reveal 10 incredible, science-backed ways baking soda can help older men reclaim their vitality and perform with strength and confidence. Later, I'll even share a special morning combination one of my patients used with truly amazing results. Before we dive in, if you're a man over 60 looking for natural ways to stay strong, energetic, and confident, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Don't miss more science-backed insights designed just for you. And if this topic resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I always want to improve and deliver content that truly helps you. Alright, let's begin with the first, surprising way baking soda can support stronger erections in men over 60, and it's all about blood pH. Most men don't realize this, but as the body becomes too acidic with age, it silently constricts blood vessels, blocking the flow needed for a firm erection. This is where baking soda steps in. Its primary benefit is balancing blood pH to enhance circulation. When I met Harold, he was 69, newly retired, and visibly frustrated, not just with his energy, but with something he initially hesitated to voice. "Doctor," he finally confessed after a pause, "I just don't feel like a man anymore. I try to get in the mood, but nothing responds like it used to." His blood work was relatively normal, his heart was healthy, but looking deeper, I noticed something subtle. His internal pH was too acidic. While most men have never heard this, as we age, our body's pH can become acidic, and that shift, even a slight one, can have significant effects. It creates a low-tension environment within the blood vessels. They become narrower, stiffer, and less able to provide the rapid, expansive blood flow needed for a healthy, spontaneous erection. Imagine trying to water your garden with a kinked hose. That's where baking soda quietly shines. As a natural alkalizer, it helps your body gently rebalance its internal pH. When taken correctly, typically mixed with water on an empty stomach, it can promote better blood fluidity, help your arteries relax, and create a vascular environment where oxygen and nutrients can circulate freely again. What happened to Harold? I introduced a gentle morning routine with a bit of baking soda and lemon water. 3 weeks later, he walked into my office with a spring in his step and a smile. "Something's shifted," he said. "It's subtle, but I feel my body waking up again." My wife noticed it too. This first change, rebalancing pH, may seem simple, but it lays the groundwork for everything else. More freely flowing blood means more oxygen, more nutrients, and more vitality to the most important areas. And when that balance is restored, the effects can extend far beyond the bedroom. But what if I told you that baking soda doesn't just improve blood flow? It actually helps combat the invisible inflammation that has been silently eroding your performance from within for years. Let's explore the second benefit and why it might be even more crucial than the first. The second benefit is that it reduces blood vessel inflammation. One of the most misunderstood enemies of male performance after 60 isn't low testosterone. It's slow, silent, chronic inflammation. I call it the silent thief. It doesn't shout, it doesn't make a fuss, but over time, it quietly wears down your blood vessels, your energy, your sensitivity, and your erections. I recall working with Samuel, 71, a man with a strong voice and proud bearing, but his eyes told another story. "Doctor," he said, "it's like my body is always working against me. Even when I want to feel close to my wife, I just don't feel able." When we ran his labs, he wasn't diabetic. His cholesterol was controlled, but looking closer, I saw a subtle clue. His inflammatory markers, like CRP, were elevated. That was our hint. Here's what most men don't know. Chronic, low-grade inflammation hardens the lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium. This is where nitric oxide, the signal that tells your penile tissue to relax and fill with blood, is supposed to be produced. But when inflammation takes hold, that system gets clogged, blood flow is restricted, sensitivity diminishes, and the body simply can't respond like it used to. This is why baking soda can be such a powerful ally. Multiple studies have shown that baking soda stimulates anti-inflammatory pathways, specifically in the spleen and kidneys. It helps calm the immune system's overactive response, especially the one impacting your vascular system. And when inflammation subsides, blood vessels open up, nitric oxide flows, and erections become possible again, not forced, but natural. Samuel began a simple protocol: half a teaspoon of baking soda in water every morning, followed by a 15-minute walk. Within a month, he reported not just more frequent morning erections, but also more energy and clarity throughout the day. "I feel like something inside me has unclogged," he said. And that's exactly what reduced inflammation feels like: less pressure, more relief. But here's the fascinating part. While inflammation is a huge obstacle, your body still needs the green light, the chemical signal that triggers an erection, nitric oxide. And believe it or not, baking soda plays a surprising role in helping your body produce more. Let me show you how in the next benefit. This could be the game changer. Benefit number 3. It supports natural nitric oxide production. If you've ever wondered why things aren't working like they used to, the answer could lie in a molecule your body once produced with ease, but now struggles to: nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the spark that starts it all. It tells your blood vessels to open, tells smooth muscles to relax, and most importantly, it directs blood into the penis at the opportune moment. Without it, the excitement can be mentally present, but physically nothing happens. I remember a man named Thomas. He was 66, relatively healthy, and still active. He wasn't depressed, and his hormones were in good shape. But during our conversation, he said something that struck me. "I want intimacy. I still have the desire, but I feel like my body just isn't sending signals anymore, like the switch is off." That's exactly what a nitric oxide deficit feels like. The brain says yes, the heart says yes, but the blood vessels say nothing. Here's the good news. Baking soda doesn't contain nitric oxide, but it helps create the right internal environment for the body to produce it naturally. When the body becomes too acidic, nitric oxide breaks down faster. But baking soda helps alkalinize the blood, protects the endothelial lining, and reduces oxidative stress. All of this preserves and enhances nitric oxide function. In one study, athletes who supplemented with baking soda experienced improved vascular performance and endurance, partly because their bodies could better utilize oxygen and generate nitric oxide under stress. And what works for endurance also works for erections. Both require rapid, expansive blood flow and good vascular response. Thomas tried it. "We started slow, adding baking soda with lemon water each morning and combining it with breathing exercises to increase nitric oxide release. A few weeks later, he told me, I'm waking up with something I haven't seen in years." And most importantly, he felt his body was finally responding naturally. But nitric oxide is only part of the story. Once blood gets to the right places, it still needs to deliver oxygen to tissues quickly and efficiently. If that transport system is sluggish, your performance will be too. Luckily, baking soda can help there as well. Let me explain why in the next benefit. Benefit number 4 is that it improves oxygen delivery to erectile tissue. One of the most overlooked aspects of strong erections is something we rarely talk about after 60: oxygen. Not just general body oxygen, but the precise, targeted oxygen delivered directly to the blood vessels and tissues within the penis. Without enough oxygen, even if blood reaches the area, the tissue cannot fully expand or respond. The result: weak, short-lived, or even non-existent erections. I recall sitting with Richard, a 72-year-old retired fire chief, who always prided himself on being strong, reliable, with a powerful saw and in control. But now, his words carried weight. "I feel like I'm running out of gas down there. Everything is slower, heavier, duller." His labs showed good cardiovascular markers, but one number stood out: his oxygen saturation was low. And this wasn't uncommon. As we age, and especially if there's acidity or inflammation, our red blood cells simply don't carry oxygen as efficiently as they used to. This is where baking soda plays a subtle but crucial role. It doesn't just reduce acidity, it also helps optimize the release of oxygen from hemoglobin to the tissues. When the blood is more alkaline, hemoglobin can transport and offload oxygen more effectively. And that means more oxygen gets to the penile tissue as arousal begins, supporting firmer, more sustained erections. Richard began a morning ritual, slowly sipping a small glass of water with half a teaspoon of baking soda before breakfast. Within weeks, he not only noticed more overall energy but specifically mentioned improved sensitivity during intimacy. It felt warmer, he said, like everything was flowing again as it should. That warmth he described is true oxygenation in action. When oxygen finally reaches its destination, the body feels alive again, alert, responsive, and capable. But oxygen isn't just for arousal. It also fuels the tiny muscles in the penis that trap and hold blood during an erection. And if those muscles are tired or sluggish, performance suffers, even with good blood flow. This leads us to the next benefit, one that directly relates to the body's hidden energy system and how baking soda can naturally recharge it. Benefit number 5. It boosts mitochondrial energy in smooth muscle cells. Most men I work with have never heard of the smooth muscle cells of the penis. But these cells, though unknown, are absolutely vital for achieving strong, lasting erections. They don't just help blood get into the penis, they help hold it there, cinch it, and maintain the erection long enough for full intimacy. And at the heart of their power lies one thing: energy. I recall my patient Gerald. He was 68, a retired mechanic, as sharp as ever. But during our first appointment, he lowered his gaze and said quietly, "It's not just that I can't get an erection like I used to. It's like the whole system just shuts down midway. I feel like I've run out of gas." That image stuck with me, and when I explained how the energy-producing engines inside his smooth muscle cells, the mitochondria, were likely slowing down, it all started to make sense to him. You see, mitochondria are your cell's powerhouses, taking fuel and producing usable energy. But as we age, especially under conditions of chronic acidity or oxidative stress, those mitochondria don't work as efficiently. And when they struggle, so do your erections. The penis simply can't hold blood because the smooth muscle can't generate the necessary force. This is where baking soda offers a subtle but powerful boost. By reducing the buildup of lactic acid and promoting a more alkaline environment in the body, baking soda helps mitochondria function better, creates the internal balance needed for these tiny energy factories to work with greater efficiency, especially in the smooth muscle tissue of the penis. Gerald began taking baking soda 3 times a week, combined with gentle morning stretches and deep breathing. Within a month, he said something I'll never forget: "It feels like the engine is kicking back on. It's not perfect, but it's alive." That's what mitochondrial renewal feels like: quiet, steady, deeply energizing. And here's the fascinating part: your mitochondria aren't the only part of your system affected by acidity. Your hormones, especially testosterone, are also influenced by your internal environment. Next, we'll explore how baking soda not only boosts energy but also helps your body respond to testosterone more effectively. Benefit number 6. It improves testosterone receptor sensitivity. It's a frustrating sentiment I hear often from men: "My testosterone levels seem fine, but I still feel tired, unmotivated, and nothing's happening in bed." And they're not wrong. Their levels are often within the normal range, but what I explain next often surprises them. Testosterone is only half the story. The other part, the one often overlooked, is whether your body can actually use the testosterone you have. This comes down to something called receptor sensitivity. In other words, how well do your cells pick up the hormonal signal and respond? I'll never forget Martin, 64, a retired police officer, strong build, clear mind, but a defeated look in his eye. "They told me I have good testosterone. Why do I still feel so flat?" We did more tests, and sure enough, his levels were fine, but I had a hunch. Years of internal inflammation and acidity can dull hormonal receptors, making them sluggish, even resistant. It's like shouting through a wall: the message is there, but it's not getting through. That's where baking soda can help in a way most men never expect. By gently reducing acidity and inflammation, it improves the internal environment in which your hormones operate. It doesn't increase testosterone directly, but it removes the static. It helps your receptors work more efficiently, allowing the testosterone you already have to connect, activate, and do its job. Martin started a routine: small amounts of baking soda in water a few mornings a week, plus some light resistance training. And about 6 weeks later, he walked in smiling. "I'm getting my drive back," he said. "Not just in the bedroom, but everywhere. It's like something reactivated." That shift wasn't due to a higher testosterone level. It was because his body was finally responding. So yes, baking soda supports erections not just by promoting blood flow, but by optimizing the hormonal pathways that drive desire, motivation, and strength. And yet, even with balanced hormones, the body's performance relies on more than testosterone. Vital organs, especially the liver and kidneys, play a critical role in detoxification, hormonal conversion, and blood flow. What baking soda does for them might surprise you. Let's look at it. The 7th benefit is that it gently detoxifies the liver and kidneys. One of the most overlooked reasons men start to lose their physical, sexual, and emotional edge after 60 is rarely associated with toxic burden. Over time, the body absorbs an accumulation of chemicals, waste products, and even old, unused hormones that no longer serve it. 2 key organs are responsible for the cleanup: the liver and kidneys. When these organs are overworked or sluggish, everything slows down. Blood becomes heavier, hormones get imbalanced, circulation falters, even mood and mental clarity begin to dim. I've seen it again and again in men who look healthy on the outside but feel completely stuck on the inside. There's a patient I often think of, Carlos, 70, a retired accountant, healthy diet, and who never smoked. Yet, he told me he felt toxic, like something wasn't quite right inside. His blood pressure was creeping up, his libido had dropped, his energy was flat. We looked at his labs: slightly elevated uric acid, mild kidney burden, and signs of a sluggish liver. Nothing alarming, but enough to explain how he felt. That's where baking soda quietly steps in. It helps reduce the acid load on the kidneys and promotes healthier urine pH, making filtration easier. For the liver, it promotes better bile flow and supports detoxification by reducing inflammation and easing the burden of metabolic waste. It's gentle, not aggressive, perfect for older men who need a little extra support without overwhelming the system. Carlos began using a small dose of baking soda every other morning, along with hydration and a warm lemon water routine. 3 weeks later, he reported something simple but profound. "My body feels lighter," he said, "like I'm not carrying so much weight." And his intimacy slowly, but noticeably, began to return. When the organs that process hormones and blood work better, everything else starts to respond. And now let's go a step further. You've heard me talk about performance and fluidity, but what if I told you baking soda could help you reduce cravings and that stubborn belly fat that silently steals testosterone and hinders erections? What's next might surprise you even more. The 8th benefit is that it reduces sugar cravings and supports weight loss. If you're a man over 60, you've probably noticed it. The weight around your belly seems to stick tighter than ever before, even if you're eating better than you used to. And those sudden cravings for sweets or carbs can hit in the evening, after dinner, or right before bed, harder to resist than when you were younger. I remember Jack, a 66-year-old former high school football coach, walked into my office, patted his stomach, and said, "This right here is ruining my life. I can't get rid of it, and I'm convinced it's taking away my drive." Jack had already tried calorie restriction, eating more vegetables, even walking daily, but the cravings, the low energy, and the poor performance in bed were still there. What many men don't realize is that belly fat isn't just a storage problem. It's a hormonal one. That stubborn abdominal fat produces aromatase, an enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. So, the more belly fat you carry, the more testosterone you lose. And when your hormones are out of whack, everything from desire to circulation and performance begins to decline. This is where baking soda plays a more surprising role. By helping to balance body pH, it can contribute to more stable blood sugar levels throughout the day. This, in turn, can reduce those intense sugar cravings that sabotage your progress. And when you're not on the sugar level roller coaster, your body can switch back into fat-burning mode, especially in the abdominal area. Jack added a simple habit: baking soda and lemon water first thing in the morning, followed by protein and light exercise. Within 4 weeks, the cravings had diminished. The belly started to shrink, and perhaps most importantly, his confidence returned. "I don't feel out of control anymore," he said. "And when I look in the mirror, I don't see a man who's giving up." Less sugar, less fat, better hormones, and a better chance at the life you deserve. But there's still one piece of the puzzle we haven't mentioned, and it's the one most men overlook entirely. What if the reason you're struggling in bed isn't just physical, but neurological? What if your nervous system is sending the wrong signals at the wrong time, and baking soda can help reset it? Let's dive in. Benefit number 9. It helps calm the nervous system. There's a part of male performance that doesn't get enough attention, and it's not blood flow or testosterone, it's the nervous system. If the brain and nerves aren't in tune with the moment, even the healthiest body can fail. I've seen it again and again. Men wanting intimacy, feeling the desire, but when the moment comes, their bodies won't allow it. And most times, the issue isn't physical, it's neurological. I remember Tom, 70, a retired military man, firm posture, clear eyes, but his voice quieted when we got to the real reason for his visit. "I still love my wife," he said, "but every time we get close, I just panic. My body freezes." I realized this wasn't about hormones or heart health. This was about a nervous system on high alert, in fight-or-flight mode. Here's something many men are unaware of. As we age, the balance between our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems can shift. Stress, trauma, inflammation, and even lack of sleep can keep the body on edge. And when this happens, the brain literally cuts off blood flow to the penis. It's a survival mechanism that sabotages intimacy. Baking soda might seem like a strange solution, but the science is advancing. By reducing systemic acidity and inflammation, it helps the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system, take the lead. It creates the calm your body needs to feel safe, open, and receptive. Some research even suggests that the kidneys and spleen, when supported by baking soda, send fewer stress signals to the brain. Tom started using baking soda just a few times a week, combining it with breathing exercises I taught him. And in a few weeks, the difference was profound. "It's like my body finally felt safe enough to connect again," he said. And for him, that changed everything, not just physically, but emotionally. When the body feels calm, it allows everything else to connect. You connect more deeply, you respond more naturally, you reclaim the rhythm that performance relies on. But what if we could take everything we've discussed, blood flow, hormones, oxygen, energy, and calm, and supercharge it even further by combining baking soda with a simple natural ingredient? That's precisely what we'll uncover in the final benefit, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Benefit number 10. It combines beautifully with lemon or apple cider vinegar. After all we've covered, blood flow, oxygen, nitric oxide, energy, hormonal sensitivity, and even nervous system calm, there's one last detail I want to share with you. It's a little natural combination I've seen make a surprising impact on men over 60, and it's something you probably already have in your kitchen: lemon juice or apple cider vinegar. Now, on their own, both lemon and apple cider vinegar are incredible. They're rich in antioxidants, support digestion, and help regulate blood sugar. But when combined with baking soda, something unique happens. They create a natural reaction that gently bubbles in the body, stimulating bile flow, reducing systemic acidity, and supporting liver function and vascular tone. And most importantly, they help the baking soda work even better, assisting it in reaching the right tissues without overwhelming the body. I'll never forget Barry, 74, a widower for 5 years. He was just starting to explore intimacy again, but said he felt rusty. We discussed the usual: exercise, diet, circulation, but something was still missing. So, I suggested he start his mornings with a simple ritual: a glass of warm water, a squeeze of lemon, and a quarter teaspoon of baking soda. He'd sip it on an empty stomach. About a month later, he came in beaming. "I didn't expect much," he said, "but I wake up feeling more alive, my stomach feels lighter, my mind is clearer, and I'm responding again." You know what I mean. That combination of baking soda with lemon or apple cider vinegar doesn't force anything. It supports the entire system: the gut, the blood vessels, the nerves, and the hormones. It helps reset the body's balance so it can function as it was designed. And that's the point. Truly lasting change isn't found in a single pill or a miracle cure. It's about restoring balance, giving your body the tools it needs to heal and respond naturally. Baking soda, especially when combined with the right ingredients, is one of those tools. Now that you've seen all 10 benefits, you might be wondering how to use baking soda safely, consistently, and in a way that fits your daily routine. That's precisely what I'll explain in the final part of this video. Let's summarize everything, and I'll show you exactly how to get started. Conclusion. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you not just for listening, but for caring enough about your health, your future, and your masculinity to remain curious. Because that's what this is truly about. Curiosity, resilience, and the willingness to take back control of your body, even after 60. Today, we've covered a lot of ground. 10 powerful, distinct ways something as simple and unassuming as baking soda can support stronger, healthier erections without medication, without side effects, and without shame. We started by explaining how baking soda helps balance blood pH, creating the ideal environment for smoother circulation and better vascular response. That's where the groundwork is laid. Then, we talked about reducing blood vessel inflammation, removing one of the most silent and deadly obstacles to male performance. Next, we discovered how it supports natural nitric oxide production, that vital chemical signal that tells your blood vessels to open when arousal begins. But even if nitric oxide flows, the body still needs oxygen. We saw how baking soda improves the way red blood cells carry oxygen to the tissues that need it most. From there, we delved into the cellular level. We discussed the smooth muscle cells of the penis and how baking soda helps these cells generate more mitochondrial energy so they can more effectively hold and sustain blood. Then, we explored how baking soda improves testosterone receptor sensitivity, helping the body respond to the hormones you already have instead of feeling depleted. We also went beyond hormones. We looked at how baking soda supports the detoxification process through the liver and kidneys, organs that silently support every system in the body, including sexual function. And then we talked about something many men silently struggle with: stubborn belly fat, sugar cravings, and the hormonal sabotage they bring. A balanced pH helps you reclaim control, reduce those cravings, and turn your metabolism in the right direction. Next, we explored the nervous system, that deeply personal and emotional layer of health that can block performance even when everything else seems fine. Baking soda, by calming internal inflammation and easing nervous tension, helps the body relax enough to connect physically and emotionally. And finally, we brought it all together with a simple natural combination: baking soda with lemon juice or apple cider vinegar. This morning ritual has helped countless men reclaim their vitality, support digestion, balance body chemistry, and feel present again, both physically and mentally. Now, I want to speak directly to you, not as a medical professional, but as a man who spent decades listening to other men in some of their most vulnerable moments. If you've been struggling, if you felt frustrated, embarrassed, or even ashamed, I want you to know there's hope. You're not broken. Your body might just need support, time, and some small shifts to get back into balance. Baking soda won't fix everything overnight, but used wisely, it can be a starting point, a nudge in the right direction, a way to give your body the environment it needs to heal and respond again. Combine it with good sleep, deep breathing, light movement, and a little faith in your body's ability to rebound. Because the truth is, even after 60, you are still capable of strength, passion, and connection. You deserve it, and it's never too late to start. If this has been helpful, I encourage you to talk to your doctor, give this a gentle try, and see how your body responds. And as always, I'll be here with you, bringing more real, honest advice to help you live stronger, longer, and better. If this video gave you a new perspective, a bit of hope, or even just made you feel seen, I invite you to do something simple but powerful. Like this video, not just for me, but so more men like you can find this information. The more engagement this video gets, the more it will spread to those who might be quietly struggling right now, searching for answers but too afraid to ask. Leave a comment below, even if it's just to say 1 if it resonated, or 0 if it didn't connect. I read every comment. This isn't just about sharing knowledge, it's about creating a space where older men can be honest, supported, and empowered to take their health seriously. If you know someone, a brother, a friend, a neighbor, who might benefit from this, please share it with them. It could be the reason they finally take the first step. And if you believe in this kind of natural, science-backed content, made specifically for older men, consider supporting the channel, whether through a small donation, by joining the channel, or simply by spreading the word. Every gesture helps us keep this message alive and growing. You matter, your health matters, and it's an honor for me to be a voice on your journey. Thanks for watching. Stay strong, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.